I would like to thank Speaker Prieto for joining us this morning and for focusing our attention to help lift New Jersey's families out of poverty and rebuilding our middle class. Today we will define poverty, whether it is really the living poor, whether it's absolute poverty. However it's defined, we still know in New Jersey that we have an issue here and we need to address it and we need to provide services for it. So without further ado, again, we have to thank the Speaker for his commitment and for his focus on probably, I think, the most pressing issue that New Jersey is challenged with today. Mr. Speaker, if you would, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Madam Chair, thank you so much for having this hearing, and members, thank you so much for taking an issue that is so important. And if we get right down to it, it's incredible to think that the state of New Jersey has a higher poverty than it has had in the last 50 years. It's 40% greater than 2008, before the recession of 2008, which is incredible when you start thinking that with a livable wage, you have 2.8 million residents that are below that line, 800,000 children. And we can't just have the status quo. We need to do something. And I thought bringing this to the forefront with all my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, figuring out that the status quo can't be, through committees like this, to figure out what we should be doing, what we need to be doing. And I think that's important. And that's how we are going to, help rebuild our middle class. And as I said last week, we should be embarrassed to think that so many New Jerseyans are in that level, and how do they get out? And it's bleak for them, given our economy, how difficult it's been for New Jersey to bounce back as compared to other states. Today, I had asked 4 committees to hold hearings to see what we can do and hear from experts on programs and that the state administers, and hear from them what we should be doing and how we can help these people lift themselves out of poverty and really rebuild the middle class, that this is what New Jersey is all about. For me, my story is simple. I know how difficult it is to really do more with less, and you need that helping hand. And today, with committees like this, we can revisit, see what we should be doing when we look at nutritional assistance program that we're not doing as good as we should be doing. 80% of other states are doing a better job distributing those federal funds. How do we get better? The state of New Jersey has taken away assistance for housing. Those things are things we need to look at. When transportation looks today, seeing how that transit can help New Jerseyans as a barrier, the transit system, how they can get to work and how that will be helpful. We'll also have the Housing Committee look about housing, that's one of the toughest things in the state of New Jersey. As you all know, it's expensive to live in New Jersey. So when you look at the federal poverty line, it's preposterous to think that you would be able to get an apartment in New Jersey even with that amount of money. Also, women and children are going to look at job opportunities and how to training and pay equity and how do we help children, because if we don't do that, it could be devastating for our future. So this committee kicks it off, and I have the utmost confidence, and you are going to do the best you can to find solutions. I was asked right away, what's going to be the price tag on this? We don't know. We don't know what it is. It may be, hopefully it's not much. Hopefully we can do a lot more. See how we can, focus on federal dollars that we can distribute better. How do we get it to the people that need it? It's not a handout. It's a helping hand to get them to where they need to get. And again, the new members, I welcome you. And I can tell you, this is an exciting time for the state of New Jersey as we can all work together to achieve the goal. And the goal is build our middle class. That's what we need for the state of New Jersey. And in turn, if we can do that, then the state of New Jersey's future is very bright. I want to thank you for your leadership, Madam Chair, and each and every one of you members. I thank you for taking on this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And just some comments, if you would just stay for a minute to listen, because I think you know
More than happy
that
to.
this committee's mission has always been to look out for our state's vulnerable population, and it includes helping those fighting poverty and giving them the tools necessary to provide themselves and for their families. And I think we have some new members, but some of the members can attest, we've heard countless stories in recent years from people from all over the state about the struggle to get by in New Jersey amidst continued cuts to social services. And last year, as you know, and most of the people here know, we had hearings on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, which ranks near last in the nation in terms of efficiency, and that means more people are being denied food assistance. And right before Christmas, as you know, we learned that more New Jersey residents were living in poverty, as you mentioned, than the past 5 decades, and that's about 2.8 million adults and 800,000 children, although I think when we listen to legal services today, those numbers may also be different. There may also be more, because as we know, New Jersey, as you mentioned, different cost of living. And so, but after we had this hearing, the administration decided to cut food stamps for 11,000 people. So that's also an issue that we've been frustrated with. And so while our poverty rate has risen, the assistance has been scaled back. And we're going to look and talk about issues that affect the elderly, the disabled. These populations has also been treated as a non-priority. And obviously, with all of these issues, they leave more people hungry at the end of the day. And we have to talk about the services, as the speaker says, because we need to give them the tools to bring them up and escape the cycle of poverty. And, you know, we can't continue to cut food stamps or make people jump through bureaucratic hoops to sign up for SNAP, which most of them then are getting denied assistance. So whether it's ensuring, and Speaker, you have been so committed to the issues here, but we have to have the opportunity to give people a living wage, or that children are not going to go to bed hungry at night, and seniors are able to heat their homes. And so I think with this hearing, it's going to give us a comprehensive look at all of the issues that really puts New Jersey into that level where people are living poor or are impoverished. So I hope today these discussions will serve as a springboard to develop legislation. And Speaker, you mentioned, you know, Democrats and Republicans, and this is not a partisan committee, because when it comes to human services, I don't believe there's any D's or R's in front of our name. So I'm hoping that when we do get to vote on these pieces of legislation, we have unanimous consent on this committee. So I thank you for really making this a priority, because anti-poverty is something that we really need to address and really do. So again, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for doing this for us.
No, thank you. And again, I want to thank you for your leadership. And I know you've been always the protector of the most vulnerable, the people that don't have the voice. And everyone on this committee, I know, is committed to making New Jersey a better place to live. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing what the outcome and what we get back from this. It'll pay dividends. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you. Thank you.
I'm excited to join the Human Services team. I'm looking forward to helping New Jerseyans. We have a lot to do, as the speaker said, and as the chairwoman said, and I am all in. I work with the vulnerable population of seniors. I also work with children and also caregivers, and I see what they go through. I understand what they go through. I've gone to the social services department to help seniors and family members get onto welfare. I've seen the cuts that they have gone through. I've seen the massive paperwork that they have to get in order to get food stamps, and the food stamps are very minimum. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you. We have some groups from the 31st District that will be here today to talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, and I'm so grateful to this team. And rest assured, we will do all that we can to make it right in New Jersey.
I'm delighted to be here. It's my privilege today to actually sit on two committees that are going to hear issues of concern, of poverty, and how to keep those numbers from increasing. I think sitting before us is a group of extraordinary people, all engaged in trying to lift people up. Our role is going to be to give you better tools to do that. And as Assemblywoman McKnight said, to get rid of some of the bureaucratic mess that we put people through who are the most vulnerable and the least able to deal with the bureaucratic stuff before them. It is quite a challenge. I think together, New Jersey is up to it, but it has to be together. So hopefully I'll see some of you a little bit later in the Housing Committee, where we can discuss those serious concerns that we all share. But thank you all for being here.